What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, man. Let's get right into it. So, look, y'all, if you like the sweet science of boxing, which is hit and not get hit, then you definitely would have liked Devin Haney's last performance, this past Saturday, which I've already made a video on. But I seen a lot of people were saying that Haney's performance was boring. And, to some, maybe it is boring. Maybe his style is boring. Maybe they don't like the movement. Maybe they don't like the fact that Devin Haney isn't trying to get into a lot of firefights, which, given his last two performances, I could understand why he's not trying to get into a firefight every single time, because it's wear and tear on your body. It is. A lot of people give Abdullah Mason credit for, his fighting style, which is, exciting for the fans. But as Abdullah ages and as he moves up in weight, he can't keep having those same performances, right? He can't keep taking those same punches, especially at a higher weight, because that's going to shorten his career and his punch resistance is going to become at an all-time low before he reaches the age of 30. Who knows how long he has in the sport. And that's why Floyd Mayweather, he listened to what his dad told him. The less you get hit, the longer you last in the sport. And I think that's what Devin Haney was just trying to display, right? You got Brian Norman Jr., who is, the favorite and who was favored to knock out Devin Haney, right? And more importantly, he was supposed to be the stronger man, the stronger guy of the two. And so I'm okay the fact that Devin Haney did use lateral movement. I don't think he was, running, trying to avoid shots like Skull did or like Devin Haney did in a Ramirez fight. No, I think Haney was doing a lot of movement. He used his feet very well to avoid traps, right? And to also set up his offense. Because Brian Norman was flat-footed pretty much the entire fight. And that's why he was able to maneuver the way that he did. Yes, I did criticize him a little bit for, the clinching that he was doing. But he goes, no, I don't want to do any inside fighting. Because he was winning the fight by keeping Brian Norman at bay at the end of his jab. And that's fine. Again, the sweet science is to hit and not get hit. We might not like the style, but me personally, I enjoyed it. No, his style is not the most fan exciting, but he gets the job done. And that to me is just super important. No, I'm not saying that it supersedes, fans or fans' expectations, because I understand we pay pay-per-view to watch exciting fights. And, watch those fights. Watch those guys who brawl. Excuse me. Watch those guys who fight, who just, balls to the wall every time. I love technical fights. I love when fighters are very calculated and what they throw and their movement, their breathing. I love that because it's now a chess match. And I love those fights. Those fights can also be entertaining. Again, to some boxing fans or casuals, I understand why those fights are boring. Because you want to see blood. You want to see a war. Right? Like Zoo and Fundora. You want to see fights like that. But I'm okay with Devin Haney fighting the way that he does and did. It got the job done. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with preserving yourself so you can fight the next fight. I'm pretty sure Devin Haney's going to fight, a fight where he is going to go to war. And of course, he's going to choose the right opponent for that. He's going to do that with deliberate care. You know what I mean? Without taking excessive damage. Because some of the recent interviews that I was watching, his ultimate goal is to fight Ryan Garcia. He wants to get that redemption. He wants to redeem himself from that performance. And I want to watch him. But if he's going through so many wars, how can we expect the best Devin Haney? You know what I mean? So I think fans, whether you're casual or you're, lifetime boxing fans, I think we should appreciate the performances that these fighters give. Whether they fight like a Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson, right? Where they, utilize more of the back foot, or they fight like a Abdullah Mason, or they fight like a Tank Davis, and they just fight, and they're more offensive rather than defensive. And again, I totally understand where people are coming from when, they're paying money and they want to see an exciting fight. But I just think you need to consider the fighter and their health, when we start making these expectations that, every fight has to be a hard fight. And it shouldn't have to be that way. But anyway, guys, if you think that Devin Haney's performance was poor, it was boring, or if you thought that it was a good fight, it was a good performance, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. I honestly appreciate it. Until next time.